Thank you for joining us on this basic walkthrough of the Volary system. We hope that it provides you with a better understanding of Volary's functionality and how it can benefit you. All users are required to register on the system. On the landing page, there are three options to choose from: client, resource, or supplier. It's important to understand what we mean by client, resource, and supplier to avoid confusion. Clients are any company, organization, or individual who would like to brief in business on the system for the resource or suppliers to execute. For example, Big B's Bank or Joe's Pizza Parlor. A resource is anyone who can assist clients with their brief. That is, people who have client service, project management, creative, digital, or strategic skills or experience. A supplier is any production company that can physically execute work, such as a printer, sound studio, video content creator, signage company, or animator, to name a few. Clients are required to provide information that relate to their company, which include company name, company registration number, and more. Clients can also upload a company logo or image. There will be a section to insert associated brands that the client's company may trade under. Here, clients need to fill in the personal details of the person responsible for the work being uploaded onto the Volary system. This could be a brand or marketing manager, or if the client is a small company, a personal assistant or a management member is fine. This section is important because it gives the main administrator certain user rights that other users won't have access to. The client can also create sub-administrator profiles should there be a need. This is to ensure that Volary records all the correct financial information when it comes to tracking, payments, and auditing of transactions. Create a username and password to log in. Resources are also required to enter all their personal details and upload an image of themselves or a logo. The more accurate the information, the easier it will be for the system to filter them during the network selection process. This section requires resources to be as accurate and forthcoming as possible, as this information will be used to validate them and their experience. The vetting process should take up to 72 hours to complete. It's the most important part of getting paid. Create a username and password to log in. Suppliers can enter all their company details, but they also have the added benefit of being able to share more about what makes them a supplier of choice. They can tell everyone what they do and sell what they are great at. Provide the personal details of the person responsible for overseeing the work on the system. For example, a producer, DTP manager, or event coordinator. Should a supplier have more than one branch or multiple disciplines that they offer, they can provide basic contact details for each one. This is to ensure that Volary records all the correct financial information when it comes to tracking, payments, and auditing of transactions. Create a username and password to log in. All the information that was submitted during the registration process will appear on the user's profile page. This is their central hub. They will be able to add and update information, as well as access their projects, networks, and reports using the tabs at the top of the screen. All resources, including client service project managers, will have the added benefit of being able to track hours worked, statuses, active projects, star rating, and hours available from their profile page. All clients will be able to create networks of resources or suppliers according to their marketing needs. Once a resource has been validated, including client service project managers, clients can select them for their business network using Volary's filtering system. The search filters range from skill set, expertise, experience, star rating, availability, and more. Being assigned to a network, resources or client service project managers can be invited to work on the client's briefs. All users will be able to access the My Network tab at the top of their profile screen. This section is aimed more at the client and client service project managers who will be completing this step. Volary has a built-in briefing template that guides them when completing the necessary fields of information to ensure accuracy and standard of the brief and work. Clients and client service project managers are urged to complete this section accurately and carefully. Should a client feel uncomfortable completing a brief, then it's advised that they hire a client service project manager on their behalf to manage the projects. The briefing template caters for both traditional and digital projects with a choice of normal or express mode. On large projects, that is websites and integrated campaigns, the express mode will be disabled. If a user has been invited to a project, they'll have access to the brief automatically. Once a resource has been exposed to the brief, they're then required to comment on the brief should there be any concerns. Otherwise, they'll be required to provide the number of hours it would take for them to complete the project requirements assigned to them. Once the client or client service project manager approves the resource's hours, the resource is required to accept the project and its requirements before the client can pay the first project amount for the status to change to active. Once a project has successfully completed the review process and it has been signed off by a client or client service project manager, the final project payment is paid by the client for the project to be released and for the project to be closed. During the briefing process, every project will be given a deadline as well as scheduled reviews. Review reminders will automatically be sent to the resources working on the project. The reviews will be held within Volary's built-in live feed conferencing system, where all parties involved can share the work and comment in real time. All users who have successfully completed the registration process will have access to the Open Projects tab at the top of their screen. The dashboard will provide users with all the finer details of a project, such as the brief deliverables, statuses on the progress of the projects, the resources allocated to a project, deadlines, and more. During the briefing process, the client or client service project manager is required to accept and approve the brief, its requirements, and the estimated hours that a resource will need to complete their project requirements. They will have to manually input this using their dashboard, whereby Volary will automatically create an invoice based on the information provided. Clients will need to approve the invoice and be required to pay a deposit for the job status to change to active on traditional and digital projects. However, on digital projects, incremental payments will need to be made throughout the project timeline when milestones are reached. On completion of both traditional and digital projects, the remainder of the invoice is to be settled and resources or suppliers will be paid immediately. A supplier's user experience is quite different from that of a resource's experience because upon being invited, they will be required to quote on the production brief requirements for approval.